Yep, sure did.
Got it right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, conservatives and never mind, just mostly conservatives here. Welcome to season number 3, episode 185. The truth will set you free. We've got Anthony, we've got Cash, and we have got Casey.
Casey. All right,
Casey.
got it.
That's it. That's what we got. That's what we're starting with. We got some fun stuff to talk about. Cash, before we get into today's very interesting topics, maybe we'll even talk about Terrance Howard a little bit. Granted, we won't play the whole video like you did on YouTube to get you completely booted for that. I wonder, are we even going to be able to see that? No, yeah, Cash, you've got one watcher on your YouTube page. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about, just the news of the day. It's been kind of a fun week, nothing like ridiculous, so we'll have a little bit of fun. But Cash, what everybody wants to know, are you currently still a single man?
Oh, I'm not single, but I'm not married. We were going to get married today, but a Subway sandwich ruined that.
How does a Subway sandwich ruin what could have been pending justice of the peace nuptials, or how I like to call them, nipples?
Well, here's the lowdown, okay? Champagne, if you're watching this right now, I just want to say I'm very upset. And the reason is we had this nice day planned. You know, I was going to get some work done, and she was going to take the kids. You know, my 2 daughters just had their birthday. Well, one birthday coming up and one just passed. And we finally just got the check to be able to do the rest of the stuff. And she wanted to take the girls out. So I said, okay, baby, go ahead. Take the girls out. She goes and she takes the girls out. When they come back, I've been in here working on this computer, putting together videos, driving myself crazy, doing research. And guess what? They come back home and I'm all happy to see her. I greet her at the door. Oh, I love you, babe. How was it? Oh, it was great. Got the girls such and such. Oh, and they went to go get something to eat. I see the Sonic thing sitting right there. And I'm like, ooh, that looks good. Go to take a drink. Nothing in it. Then I'm like, well, what'd they get? Oh, well, they just went to some Subway. So I got them some Subway. So you went to 2 stops. You went to Sonic and you went to Subway. And then I'm like, oh, what'd you get me? Nothing. And I'm like, because every time I go out, I get you something if I'm going to get something for somebody else. But I didn't get nothing. So I said, you know what? The wedding's off.
I feel like this is actually pretty much 100% the truth. I do feel, though, I feel you see, Champagne made the mistake of coming in through the front door because you really have no other option. Kelly will go, trust me, when I am out, I am bringing home stacks on stacks on stacks of whatever princess needs. Kelly will go to get the tea place, this, that, and the other coffee place, and she will go straight to the barn, and I will never see it till I get to the barn and go, wow, you stopped and you got yourself a tea, when I have to take out a small loan for her $7 teas every time we go.
That's not the worst part, though, Russo.
There's more, but wait.
This is the worst part about it, everybody that's watching right now. I come downstairs, and I'm like, ooh, where's Champagne? Because I wanted to give her a hug and a kiss and tell her how amazing she is. And like, I'm so excited to be your husband. You know what I'm saying? Those things. So I go looking for her. They say, Mommy's outside. Mommy's outside. It's raining outside. So I stand in the doorway, and I'm looking. I'm like, where is she? She's sitting in the car. So I walk out there into the rain.
Oh, she's eating
my face.
She's eating the Sonic.
She's eating the Subway sandwich.
Oh, I thought she got Sonic and the kids got Subway.
She got both, apparently. She was hiding in the car eating a sandwich, bruh. And I'm like, man, it smelled so good. And I said, what are you doing? She's doing nothing.
Champagne, I got a way out of this for you. So here's the deal. I'm sure we can find something that's woke about Sonic and liberal about Subway and just say, babe, I know your mission. And I wanted to respect that. So I didn't want to get it anywhere near you. So I wanted to make sure you weren't tempted with the liberal devils. And that's why I didn't bring this home to you. But I will make whatever you want. And then we'll go get married.
From now on, I am Team Kelly. All the way. No matter what she does, she's right and you're wrong. Can't believe you just did that right now. You gave her an out.
Oh, shit. Casey, anything interesting? I mean, Cash literally was going to go to the Justice of the Peace and get married today, and apparently over a sandwich, they decided not to go. I feel like there might be something along the lines of like, well,
no, that's just totally not true. Everything I just said was true, but that's not the reason why we didn't go. We're still going.
Okay.
You know, but yeah. I just wanted to make everybody laugh a little bit. You know, Champagne's probably sitting in her seat unsure if she's angry or happy right now about me
I
saying
can tell
all
you,
of this.
I can tell you what she is. She's full. Casey, what's going on in your world?
Just making some friends in my libertarian party because it is just as much of a disaster as the other parties in politics. It's
Said
great.
you're making some friends.
So is the guy gay? I don't know. We'll get into it. So here's what today's topics are about. If you're watching on Facebook, I misspelled De Niro. I'm an Italian. I shouldn't do that. And then I realized Robert De Niro has lost any credibility in the Italian community, and he could go and be something else. But we're going to talk about what's that? Does it work 5 minutes in? Cool. He's a fuckface. All right. So Trump trial coming to a close. Libertarian Party nominee. I want to, Casey is a non-Trump voting conservative.
Not anymore.
That might
Not
change.
anymore.
So we're going to talk about the Libertarian Party mistakes. Trump speaking at the Libertarian convention. Talk about that. And we're going to start talking about Memorial Day because I think that this is a common misconception. We're going to lead in with that. And then maybe if we get to Terrance Howard and Joe Rogan, that's really what we're going to cover in today's episode. And I want to give people that have been following, if you follow what's going on with our horse, if you watch my personal pages, we are bringing the horse home today, far from being through the woods. But the numbers have not gone down all the way, but we're done with the hyperbaric. Actually, I have not got a call yet. I wonder when I'm going to get a call saying I need to get my credit card. Anyways, so that's fun. But here we go. So things are moving in the right direction, just not as fast as the surgeon would want it to. If it doesn't, whatever, you guys don't need to know. But if it doesn't continue to get any better, then she'll have to go back under the knife. Okay.
It's going to get better. Stop saying if it doesn't.
Well, we're just saying in a worst case situation because
Don't surrender faith in your pets. Don't be a garbage human.
Don't surrender faith in your pets. That's clever. That's clever. I see what you did there.
New t-shirt coming up.
New t-shirt coming up. Speaking of t-shirts, we're still at 30% off across the store. All the new t-shirts are ready to be loaded. But until don't know, it could be tomorrow, could be the next day, it could be whenever. And then all the deals are gone. So go to awakenotwokestore.com. Again, that's awakenotwokestore.com. If you're watching this in a couple days and the 30% is gone, we'll make sure to post on our stuff. Make sure you use Awake for 20% off. But as of now, again, just go to awakenotwokestore.com. There it is on the bottom. Okay.
Is Awake 20% off?
Awake should be, or sorry, it's Truth. Truth is 20% off. I'm glad I put the thing on there. Truth, 20% off. Awake. What are you looking at? Because I said it wrong?
Can't spell De Niro. Can't remember the discount code.
Just take over, bro. Take over.
I'm good.
The reins away from him. He has too much going on.
No, you're going to be super bitter. It's all right.
No, you're right. I should be taken out back and shot. That's what should happen. All right. So let's get into the first topic. And I want to make another admission before we get into the Memorial Day. So I posted the thing on my social media about the NFL player with the blood clots and then the golfer. I just posted. I took the bait. Now, to be clear, for people like Jay Kennedy, I wasn't saying, look at what happened. This guy died from the jab. I simply put up two stories of people dying young. And of course, because of my belief system, people are going to assume that that's what I meant. I do think it's suspicious, but across the board, no matter what happens, and actually only one person died. The other person had to leave the NFL because of bad blood clots. I'm just pointing out the fact that with all of this happening, why can't we just say, what's going on? Can we say what's their V status? Like, can we ask these questions? Now, of course, the guy committed suicide, so that doesn't count there. I did make an edit to that post, but across the board, if you've been paying attention the last about a month, it's through the roof on people that are having major issues. And you've got leftist pundits right now coming out of the woodwork talking about their health problems that now they're attributing to what could have been the jab. Go ahead, Cash.
What does his virginity have to do with anything?
The V, I get it. Yeah, that's good. I should have let you interrupt because the comic timing was way better that way.
The part, Russo, you're correct that we should be able to do stuff like question what's going on. Like, we're looking at cancer rates up like over 300%. Why can't we ask what changed?
And then people will respond with, well, everybody had COVID and it could be long COVID. And that's what people like Jay will say.
So that's cancer?
Unfortunate. And they're like, this could be we don't know what COVID did. COVID, to anybody not knowing this, and I know that I'm not a doctor, but I've spent plenty of time in research. COVID is a bad cold based on this. And I'm not saying like, oh, you're a pansy, it's bad cold. It is the structure. That is the way that it affects the body. It's a coronavirus, which matches the common cold. This was just a lot of variations and a very strong one. Nowhere. If there could be a tie that they could make to long COVID and cancer, I guarantee you they would do it. But it's such a farce that even doctors that would be baited to believe bullshit, they can't even say that. Trust me, they are not tying COVID or long COVID to cancer rates, to cardiovascular issues that are happening. That's the thing. So then the question becomes all-cause mortality, cardiovascular events, cancer rates. Why all of a sudden, and what's been the major change? And that's all I want to be able to ask. And the fact that still people that I would consider intelligent, consider intelligent, like a Jay Kennedy, who I've become friends with over the years, that will look at me like I'm insane. It's like, at one point, can we go, what the fuck is going on? That's
it. I 100% agree. And when it's probably once every 6 months, I'll make a COVID post or something along those lines. And I wait for him to come and comment, but I usually don't even reply.
And this is the one subject we still can't talk about on social media. Go ahead.
I am so sick of you guys downplaying COVID and its seriousness. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get the jab. Okay. Get the jab and save a life. You evil person.
Got it.
Save a life.
Honest
question. You know what? Ever since I got vaccinated, I have not infected one person with COVID.
That you know of. But anyways, well, it was because you weren't banging other dudes in prison, because you got it twice in COVID after you got the shot, right?
Allegedly.
Just saying. Allegedly, you didn't bang them in prison?
Yes.
Lily's like, oh, I got the coup. I got the coup from Cash. He just gave it to me. It was just like, he put his coof all over my backs. Okay. The one thing I have to ask, he put his coof inside of me.
You do that so too good, bro. You do that way too good.
Oh, he got his whole 19 inside of me. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yes, you're now seeing how Russo survived and made some money during COVID.
Yo, yes.
Welcome to my OnlyFans. All right.
Oh my goodness.
You sound like you run the Libertarian Party. No, got it.
She goes, bye, y'all. It's a joke. We'll get to real topics in a second. I do have one honest question though. And I want to have Jay on a show again. I know he works through this. I want to have somebody on a show again and say, you got the jab. I know, Jay. I know this. At this point, can you tell me? You could at least. You don't have to be like, it was a bad idea and I regret it. I think a lot of people do, but you don't have to say that. Do you at least at this point realize that it was pointless to take the jab? Like, is there any Americans and human beings that think that it was an actual good, right decision outside of the fact that they thought they were doing the right thing? Can anybody be hindsight right now and go, I am so glad I took the jab? Is there anybody?
I'm glad that I took it. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Right?
You had different reasons why.
I'm glad I took it because it got me over the fear of, if I take it, I might die.
Unfortunately, the time isn't up yet.
Alive. Yo, don't say that. Why would you say that?
Because we got to get you some of that spike protein cleanse. I actually do have. So Artist is out. He's been out of it for a while. I actually have the wellness company. I have a code. I should pull it up during the show. They've got a whole kit. I think it's a little different, but we could look at that one too. But you need to start cleansing yourself of those spike proteins. Which Terrance Howard, I know you were talking smack on him earlier today. He did a great job outlining all of the different. I mean, he was way more intelligent than I thought. And I have to correct you. He did not pull himself from the Iron Man movies. They pulled him.
Correct.
And which made me go, that's where I was like, because somebody in the comments, and I know you kept talking about it, the fact that he went crazy. He didn't turn down that role.
That was a joke. That was just a joke.
Oh,
okay.
he didn't turn down that role. I think the fact that he is one of us is the reason why he's gotten blacklisted. As another Lily joke. He's one that got why he's got blacklisted from Hollywood.
Well, he could have. You could pin it on him, but they decreased his pay from $8 million for the video to $1 million, and then his agent's like, "F off," and then hung up on them
because he didn't do a good job as Rhodey, bro.
He was awesome as Rhodey.
You just said he's a good actor.
He's a great actor, but he did not do a good job as Rhodey. The other guy did a better job.
Well, Cheadle's great. So I mean, they're both really good. But that's not, I don't think he didn't do bad enough to need to be replaced. Let's be very clear.
No.
Anyways, let's
keep it moving.
Let's talk about Memorial Day. So Memorial Day, and I'm guilty of this in the past. Like I've said it. I know that sometime in my life, maybe even the last couple of years, I've said Happy Memorial Day. Memorial Day is not a day you say you wish people a Happy Memorial Day on. I forgot to. Yeah, I got the link. You don't wish people happy Memorial Day. It's a day of mourning. You celebrate, though. That doesn't mean you can't celebrate. You celebrate the fact that people have come before us in order to protect our freedoms. So it's not a day you say, and you also, another very common thing is people say, well, I thank you to those that have served our country. That's Veterans Day. Memorial Day is simply a day of remembrance. That's it. You can thank a veteran for their service every day, but don't think that on Memorial Day you say thank you to veterans. That is very different. You say thank you. You're literally
a holiday police now. That's what this is.
Well,
there is a significant difference in these holidays.
It's the holiday police.
Did Cash? Did you say Happy Memorial Day yesterday? Did I just bust you? Okay. No, see, then why are you so upset?
I'm not upset. I'm just like, yo, that's like somebody telling me not to use 3 dots after a sentence when it's mine.
I love saying 3 dots after a sentence. It's one of my favorite things. It's called.
I know that's what that comment had me laughing too. Audrey, I can't believe you would do that. I can't believe that you would come on here and say that. That is hurtful.
Whatever.
Steven died suddenly.
To think that she actually liked me and now she doesn't.
Talking about Lily?
No.
Audrey. To be clear, for anybody wondering when we're talking about Cash getting the jab, to tell you how corrupt this bullshit system is, in order for him to see his children when he was in J6 prison, they said you have to get the jab in order for your kids to come. He didn't want to get it. He then gets it, and then they changed the rules, and he still didn't get to see his kids. Welcome to our bullshit system. So as much as we joke about it, the fact that he was forced to get the jab, which he never would have got, just for the sake of sacrificing to see his children, and still didn't get to do it, is absolute bullshit. Anyways.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
That's as fucked up at a high level as humanly possible.
Hey, I was terrified. I ain't gonna lie. I was terrified when I was there and I got that shot. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be the one dude that hits that percentage of people that doesn't wake up. And it freaked me out for a while. And then I got like body aches and all of that and a headache. And it was just the second one, not the first one. The first one, I was like, this ain't nothing. My arm hurt a little bit. But the second one, yeah, I was like, yo, my head hurts, my body hurts. Just wasn't.
And it's good that you just got 2, because in the end of the day, like there's the more you are getting each time, the worse it actually is, because the spike proteins, they create deposits. Anyways, I'm gonna look. This is the Memorial Day issue. This is people that serve our country, and this has been deleted. So, I mean, again, this is somebody that doesn't even know where America is on a map, Ilhan Omar, and then Cori Bush. So Ilhan Omar says, on Memorial Day, we honor the heroic men and women who served our country. We owe them more than our gratitude. They have more than earned access to quality. So then she uses it as a place to pander. So first she says, I wish you would be kind enough to make a statement about our heroic men and women who served the country. But then she panders. Again, even though it's Memorial Day, not the right message, she goes on to say, we owe them more than our gratitude. They have more than earned access to quality mental health services, job opportunities, housing assistance, and the benefits they were promised. Couldn't agree more. Why don't you talk to the Democrat Party, your people in the squad, and maybe actually make it happen? And then you have demon spawn Cori Bush. This hashtag Memorial Day and every day we honor our veterans in St. Louis. That would be Veterans Day, you absolutely ignorant twat. Ask me how I really feel. We must invest in how do you spin from this to universal health care? We must invest in universal health care, affordable housing, comprehensive mental health services, and educational and economic opportunities for our veterans as we work to build a world As we work to build a world free of war and violence, as she has voted for everything going to possible Ukraine as humanly possible.
I could have made that post way shorter right now.
How are you going to do it?
Happy Memorial Day. Every day where we honor our veterans in St. Louis. Socialism.
Exactly. And Tim, what a guy. I believe the last time VA benefits were going to be expanded, Republicans voted against it. You are not wrong. But it was one of the omnibus bills. It's one of the ones with all the pork and the stuffing. We need to stop putting multiple things into one bill. They set that up so that you can use it against the other side and be like, they voted against it. Meanwhile, the bill has a whole bunch of shit that is a waste of tax dollars. Everything needs to be separate. We have plenty of people doing nothing. Literally, our politicians suck such hard monkey balls, whatever. So we have the ability to do separate bills.
They wanted to send 500,000 billion trillion gazillion dollars to Pakistan for gender studies.
No, we don't have to worry about that. We just spend $320 million building a pier that couldn't withstand some waves.
So I heard the word bazillion dollars in debt. Is that true?
A bazillion?
A bazillion.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Meanwhile, do we have video? I didn't even think about it. Do we have the video? So again, this is two. And by the way, those tweets were deleted. Those X's were deleted. I wish they would be X'd out of government. So where was the last Republican VA only bill? They're not. And trust me, I'm not. Yeah. I have to be super clear. It's all bullshit. They're all ridiculously bad, left, right at the same time.
Why is Republican have to come up just because we showed two liberals?
Well, I said it. I'll take the blame for that. I brought it up. So I was saying, because I said the leftists aren't, then why don't you fix it, Democrats? So that's my fault. I opened a can of worms. They both suck. How about government? You do something for the veterans? So I'm going to apologize for that. What a guy. You're not wrong. So the other thing is, can you do me a favor, Case, if you can? Can you find video of Biden sleeping yesterday?
Bruh, I was like, yo, I was about to do a clip on it, and I'm like, it's already flooded all over social media, so I didn't. But man, bro.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
If we could pull this up. We got about 36 specifically watching on X. That's our biggest platform. But did you know Casey had 650 people watching him the other night on X? Kind of a big deal. So if you guys could like this video, share this video, do all the things with this video. Make sure you're also following whatever page you're watching on. Make sure you follow there. We might be shifting this show to Pilled. I don't know. Well, I finally got in touch with Matthew Brown today. We're going to talk on Friday, see what the deal is. Anyways, go ahead, Casey. Go ahead and play it.
I'm fine.
Rise and shine, Sleepy Joe. Now's the time, don't you know, to get into a new kind of dream.
Wow.
You've been living alone with no bell telephone, and you don't have a shed that is clean. You can rest your head on the corner of your bed. You can watch the world go by.
Oh, so it's really bad right now.
It looks like he's pooping himself in his seat.
Oh, that was bad.
Rise and shine, Sleepy Joe.
Okay, I think we get the point. Okay, what a guy. You're getting on my nerves. I admitted I was wrong about something. Who are you? Let's see. Yeah, he's old. But guess what? So is Trump, who is sleep. Yeah, there's okay.
You're not even understanding this. This was Memorial Day where he's supposed to be honoring fallen troops, and he's sleeping, opposed to sitting in a trial where people are lying on you and it's BS in the first place. Name the one time where you can show me Trump at a speaking event where he is there honoring anybody, or matter of fact, any event ever with him having to be there for a special occasion and him falling asleep. You find that for me.
This is a 1 hour event that you, as a the whole him checking his watch, that could have been an accident. Like, Biden, we make a huge deal about him checking his watch. Like, sometimes there's little things we do with our hands, and I'm like, okay, not a good look. Probably shouldn't have done it when he checked his watch on, I think it was Memorial. Maybe he's got a history of fucking up on Memorial Day. whatever it was, there were soldiers coming home, and he checked his watch, and maybe I think it was after Afghanistan, so it wasn't Memorial Day. Regardless, you have 1 hour to make sure you are showing any kind of respect to fallen soldiers that are serving this country, have served this country, have died for this country. And you end up falling asleep. Are you like, to compare the two? Are you serious? Okay, so we agree. Trump asked, oh wait, no, it's a Trump thing. Never mind. I don't get what it was in it for them while looking. That's actually never true. That was never actually, that was an article wait, hold on. Which quote are you saying? I don't get it. What was in it for them while looking at soldiers' graves? Can we do a fact check, a live fact check on this? Because that quote I've never even heard. The whole thing about him talking poorly about soldiers was actually an Atlantic article that had 0 people that stepped forward and said they made the quote. It was completely made up by a very far leftist magazine. So all of him talking poorly about military has never been corroborated. Just like there's never been anything of him saying the N-word that's ever been played. They just said that they had it. Nobody ever actually had it. So let's go ahead and give it a look.
I played one earlier of Biden, though. Biden doing it. Did you guys see that?
What did he say?
Oh, I'm just going to have you go back and watch the live that I did this morning.
I love that you think I don't even have time to do the Mel Luca tonight. So how am I going to do that? I'm sorry. Well,
the only article I pull up, if you Google those words, which is, I don't get it. What was in it for them? The only thing that comes up that matches that is the Atlantic article.
Oh, it's the same article.
The same article.
Okay.
That is it. Nothing else.
So it was one person said that they heard Trump said it, according to this, and it was a whistleblower that never came forward. It was never corroborated, and it was never proven. And
you're giving this guy too much attention.
Which, by the way, also is behind a paywall. So go pay them money so you can read it.
Okay, so now I know you're a troll, because this has been completely disproven. The event was canceled. He had nothing to do with it, and he actually was out there with a umbrella. Now I know you're a fucking moron. All right, moving on. I'm feeling spicy. You know what? Do you know what I wish? I wish we live in a world where on response on messages, on Instagram, on whatever it might be, where I could just literally, because you can't say this anymore. You can't clap back, because there's sometimes you can clap back with information. Typically you clap back and you give this, and then over and over and over, when nobody can actually understand the truth, I just want to say you are as fucking stupid as any human being I've ever met. Now, I'm not saying this to you, but what I would like to be able to say to people like you is there's certain levels of fucking stupidity that in all reality, I would be just fine with people like you not even being able to breathe the same air as mildly intellectual human beings. Again, not talking about you, but I would just love to be able to say, shut the fuck up. You really don't even deserve to be sharing the same air. Can you tell me I'm feeling spicy tonight? That's what I would say. I don't mean it towards you directly. Okay.
Tim, what a guy. I just want to say, I love you. I love you, bro.
At least someone does. Next topic.
Moving on. All right, what do we got next? I just felt like getting that out.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yep. God, I feel like dropping a lot of F-bombs tonight. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about the end of the Trump trial right now. So Casey, you were talking. You want to do libertarian or Trump? Which way do you want to go?
I don't really care.
Let's go libertarian, because that is just hilarious to me.
All right,
dude,
we're going to talk liberty, because the Trump trial we don't know much.
Shit show is what it is. It's a shit show.
So what is? I saw you post this. Explain it to me like I am a member of the Libertarian Party, because I don't even know what's going on.
What a guy. Okay, you're Tim. What a guy. So the guy on the left is Javier Milei. He is the president of Argentina and very libertarian in views. This is what is usually used as a reference in the libertarian world of who we want, because he has taken over Argentina and turned it around in 6 months. It's a disaster of a country, and just turned it into some great things within 6 months already. So we're like, look at the disaster we're in. Why can't we do that? And so a lot of us have wanted somebody with his type of stature and prevalence in government, and it doesn't happen.
Doesn't that guy kind of look like the kid all grown up from the original movie The Omen? And then the other guy, doesn't he look like he takes every kind of vaccination shot and
Oh, he
back
does.
shots.
He does.
So what's this guy's name? Sorry,
Guy on the right.
Yeah,
That is Chase Oliver.
and he is the nominee. Is that the deal?
He is the Libertarian nominee as of Sunday. He is a former Democrat. He has tweeted numerous times about attending Obama's rallies in his second term and saying that he needs to be reelected, which fine. I'm fine with people changing their parties. But when you start to understand his policies, you're like, okay, never mind. Like, you don't meet where we should be. And this guy, I don't understand how the libertarians have done this and got this so backwards. But with him, like his policies, he says he's against vaccine mandates, but then he comes out and is like, no, I'm okay if the companies require vaccine mandates. Corporations.
How is that a libertarian candidate? I mean, that's not 8 years ago. That's literally 3 years ago.
Well, and this is where libertarians now are like, well, corporations can do whatever they want. And it's like, okay, you want to buy into that game plan? Corporations can do whatever they want. What did we prove out during COVID? Oh, corporations got all of the money because we shut down all the mom and pop shops and sent all the money to Amazon and Walmart during COVID, and they got all the money. And you think the government won't influence them to force a vaccine mandate? You are dumb as fuck. Like, really, the Libertarian Party is a disaster.
Did Casey just say fuck?
No. Can I give you my theory?
No. Just kidding. What's up?
I'm just saying, bro. I think that this was an act of God.
I know where you're going.
This was an act of God because all the real libertarians like you, Casey, are now going to be MAGA Trump supporters.
Hang on. You were already making fun, but let me show you my Facebook feed from the last 24 hours. This was the first one.
That's great.
That was this last night. That was this morning.
That's funny.
And then this one.
Yes.
That is literally what's going on right now.
You
are having everybody that has learned from Ron Paul and came from those roots into the libertarian world looking at this and being like, what the freak is going on?
Yo, I don't know. I all I know is I seen the man up there in full drag, and I'm like, yo, this is y'all's nominee. I mean, nothing against drags, do your thing if that's what you like, but this is what the libertarians is really about over here, dog. And if not, then how the hell did he get elected? How did they pick this guy?
I can tell you how they picked him. If you watch the LNC, the LNC was so divided and upset that Trump was coming to talk. So upset that RFK is coming to talk. And we don't want anybody that could help us. We want to be small and not actually do anything.
Yeah, Russo is seething over there right now, dog.
What?
I'm trying not to look at the chat. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, he looked over at that chat one like this.
Well, I haven't even looked. What did he say?
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not even looking. I'm reading about this. I'm reading about this guy, and
so let me address you, Tim. No, we said no. We literally said no. We're not okay with that.
So I guess one of the popular libertarians, Jeremy Coffin, you probably know better who this is, posted he would be voting for a presumed Republican nominee over Oliver in the election, talking about Trump. Yesterday, I held up this sign calling Donald Trump supporters socialists. Coffin said, tonight, the Libertarian Party nominated a gay race communist for president. With those choices, I'm standing with Donald Trump. So again, like Cash said, with RFK making the statement about abortion until birth being okay, he said, it's a tragedy, but it's okay. That literally took any of the moderate Republicans away from RFK. It made me again, I would consider it, but I knew that it's more important to vote for Trump right now. And then you've got the top libertarian, or you've got the libertarian nominee being this friggin' idiot, to the point where it's like, all right,
Yo, I'm
Can I
interested
highlight
to
one more
see.
thing from this special individual
Yeah, go
that's
for it.
very popular within the Libertarian Party, which I have no freaking idea why it is even a thing? Open borders. We just want. What did we just go through this last like 18 months with our border?
They're
I
talking
mean,
about
I'm
open
not
borders.
opposed. Listen,
Yes.
I'm not. Listen, here's the thing, right? Again, in a perfect world, I would
We're
love.
not in a perfect world, so there's
But I'm
no
saying,
reason to give that
that's
idea.
what the libertarians, a lot that I know anyway, their idea is to make the world more perfect. You know what I'm saying? So when their concept of open borders is different than what open borders would mean right now, you know what I'm saying? In their mind, like how in my mind, if we had open borders, it would be when the world was a safe place where you could travel to Mexico again without fear of getting hit up by the cartel and them coming over here with
No.
buttloads of drugs. And, that would be a perfect thing. But that's not the world we live in, guys. And
No.
the proof of that is just go look at how the border's coming along right now with a border.
Disaster.
Yeah.
It's a disaster. And
People
so what
are
he
just too
talks
screwed
about
up.
is he wants to reform. Like he's put together some things that he wants to reform and fix, but nothing is to stop these people from coming in illegally. He wants to just be like, oh, we're going to improve the DACA program. We're going to then do this. And it's like, no, how are you going to deal with the 20 million people that have crossed the border already and are going to change the census in 2030?
New World Order.
How are you going to handle that?
New World Order. Just make everybody get a chip, and that way you know where everybody's at all times. Have a supercomputer that has a database that tracks everybody and know exactly where they're at all times in the world.
Yeah, the Libertarian Party is a disaster, and you're going to see probably a new party come out of this. And it might be that it's going to be a blend between MAGA Republicans and Libertarians.
There's no point of creating another party. The Libertarian Party shouldn't even exist. I mean, it's just all it does is there's never going to be a Libertarian president unless he runs on a Republican or Democratic ticket. That's it.
So wait, you now believe there should not be a third party?
No.
Why?
We talked heavily about needing a third party,
but it won't happen. It won't happen.
We don't disagree on that. I think it's almost impossible. And
exactly. It's too ingrained in the minds of the people over here in America, Republican and Democrat. All right. And then they got the little branches within the two parties. So even if you did create a third party, the way that the voting system is set up, even with the electoral college, right? You never would get anybody to win.
I think you're right, Cash. But do you remember the conversation we had on your porch 4 years ago about why specifically? So if a great third party candidate that's a middle grounder comes up, like RFK, I think has a lot of potential, but I think he's made some really big errors in the last couple month. If somebody threatens the power structure of the Republicans and of the Democrats, they have a multi-tiered approach to destroy that person. They were doing that to RFK when he was gaining popularity. They were spinning his words. They were showing old footage, so they'll shame somebody into non-popularity, and they own the airwaves. They own the media. They own the messaging. They own social media. It's almost impossible. But if somehow somebody can get out of that, then it becomes dangerous for them. Then they have the ability to pull little strings, threaten them, there is no bounds that they will go, the Republican and Democrat Party, in order to allow their strength to be weakened. So the problem is, I do think Cash is right. Unless we went through a full-blown civil war, which scares me, we will not get
this
to
mindset. It's the same reason you could have said the same thing. Trump wouldn't have won 2016.
No, that's why
the reason. But here's the part that I'm saying that you are wrong. If you are saying a third party or another party cannot come up and win, then you do not believe in unity and to where that can happen.
No, that's not at all what I mean.
Because there is ways. Because you got to remember, you have to only win over the delegates. That's the only way That's the only way you can win when it comes to presidents. If you win over the delegates, which is a huge mass, a huge chunk taken out of the population that can vote, and they're very easily to be swayed. For example, here in Utah, how hard is it to unseat somebody that is an elected official? Our Governor Cox, piece of shit, we need to replace him. He has no path of being really replaced for a long time because he's so young and a lot of people loved him. Delegates that actually voted during the convention just a few weeks ago voted 70% in favor to remove him from his seat and replace him with Phil Lyman. So if you actually can play the game and do the right thing by getting in front of informed voters, because that is all that matters, not your general populace, then you can start swaying elections. But also pushing out, oh, it's always going to be the two parties. It will always degrade people and will never be able to succeed in getting our government back.
It's
Ever.
not that. It's not even that. Even if you did, you're still never going to get your government back. It's not going to happen, bro.
Then what are we doing?
Grown. Well, I told you my goal. My goal is to unite people. I hope Trump gets it because he's the best option that we got
So what's the country. Point?
Well, the point is to make the best possible living that I possibly could.
Lipstick on a pig.
And make living better for people in America. That's just it. Keep us out of wars. The things that, that we happen.
If we have no control to be able to get who we want in power,
it's not about who. It's not about who we have in power.
Anyways.
It's not about who we have in power. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm hoping Trump gets it, and it's looking like he is. With the way things is going, right? But say he didn't, it's still not going to deter me from coming on here and giving my message and speaking out against the corruption and getting people to come together with the people. That's my goal. I don't give a shit about
why. Why do you do it then?
Because it's for the people. The power isn't in them houses. They just got the power to create.
That's what I
laws.
just said.
Right.
But you said it's not worth the effort.
You're talking about creating a whole new party. It'll never work in their system. That's their system. You're trying to play in their ball court. You're never going to get it. It's just not going to happen.
So almost what Cash is saying, you have to create new parties within the party and having good candidates
like Trump did.
Have to follow that, because now locally, Casey, I think you're right. I think locally you can have third parties, but on a federal level,
it'll never happen.
For president, I just don't think it will probably happen. It will possibly happen unless, as I said, we have a full breakdown of our government, civil war, which would be a problem because then China would probably invade. There's a whole lot of issues behind that. And trust me, nobody wants a third party more than myself. I think the Libertarian Party's been whacked for a long time.
We got MAGA, bro. We're just going to revamp
the Republican for a long time. 4 years is another party. I think the MAGA faction of the Republic. So I think the parties right now. Would it be great to have a third party? Yes. If you want to think practically and pragmatically, I think changing the actual Republican Party is the best chance we have in the short term. When I say short term, I don't mean next year. I mean short term, next 40 years. Agreed. In order to start changing the country is to actually infiltrate the Republican Party with different kinds of thinkers, ones that have some of the old school liberal beliefs, the ones that have the anti-government beliefs that fit the libertarians, and then also run on a Republican and conservative ticket, which right now that fits most of the Republican voters.
Facts.
No. Here's the thing. If you're changing the Republican Party, you're creating a new party.
Oh, it's still the Republican Party. It's just different ideology.
You just said it. MAGA is not Republicans.
No,
but
MAGA
it's changing
is
the so the Democrats and Republicans have shifted. Those parties have shifted over the last 150 years.
Not even that. They shifted in the last 23 years.
Well, they have then, Democrats they shifted before that. Today. They shifted after Abraham Lincoln, and back then we had other parties, but that was before the government was as bloated as it was now. But fact is, parties shift. The Democrat Party started the KKK, then they became the ultra the opposite side. Granted, they were, putting them essentially back in chains by doing what Lyndon B. Johnson did and doing all these different programs. So they found a way to subvert and subconsciously do it, but their posturing to the voter was, we are pro-minority, pro-whatever, which is a shift from the past. So Correct. The Democrat Party and the Republican Party have made shifts over time. This would just be what we need right now is just another massive shift towards the MAGA version of the conservative party. And it's hilarious that people are calling the MAGA shift the far right Republicans. It's quite the opposite. They're more the middle ground Republicans.
Funny thought, right? You just said that the parties, somewhere along the lines had changed, the whole Democrats.
Yes, they have.
No, I'm talking about from being Democrats to Republicans and Republicans to Democrats kind of thinking. But I disagree. And here's why, right? So it was the Republican Party that wanted to free the slaves. This is a little off, but, it was a Republican Party that wanted to free the slaves. And the Democratic Party, which was majority of the Civil War, if not damn near all of them, in the Civil War were on the Confederate side, they were Democrats, right? It was a Democratic war, really. They were the Democrats warring against the Republicans is really how you should look at it. And the Republicans were fighting to free the slaves, and then the Democrats wanted to keep the slaves. And then when they say that the party switched, just because of the titles that come with that. So you have a conservative and you have a liberal. A liberal is one who wants to liberate and change things and make things different than the way things are right now. And then a conservative wants to conserve the way things are right now. And they believe that this is the way that it should stay. So the only thing that switched was back then the Republicans were, I'm sorry, right now, the liberals are saying that they want to change the way things are, when back then they were the ones that were conservative, wanting to keep things the way that they were. And it was the Republicans who were liberal, who wanted to change how things were because slavery was wrong. And now they are conservative because now that they've made that switch, they want to keep it the way that it is. So it's funny to hear a liberal or a Democrat talking about being a liberal, because you want to change the way things are right now because it no longer serves the way things were back then when you got slave labor. Just a little thought that I had. All that happened while we were talking.
I think the interesting thing is all of us are agreeing in some way. It's just like, I think at local levels, have, Libertarian Party, have whatever it was, have good candidates. It's easier to say that at a local level.
It's easier to say it, but the Libertarian, the thing is, at a local level, parties don't matter. They make zero impact. True. Because most of the time at a local level, you are pretty in tune with your constituents. Where we are failing is our federal government. This is all of Congress and our president are so out of touch with Americans and who they represent, because they all live in Washington. It's a full-time job. So they all live there, and they have a small little tiny apartment that they pay for in their state so they can say they represent this state. That is what. When it comes down to it, all of Congress is in it for themselves. They are not doing it for any of their constituents. This is why you need to have more of a libertarian presence in federal government. When you start going locally, yes, but the problem is you can't go locally and have a libertarian that's welcoming everybody in and trying to be everybody's friend, because you have to be anti-federal government. And there's very few of those people right now. We haven't created a big enough culture doing that. It's coming up. Like Abbott started pushing a lot of that with all of the controversy around the border. You have Utah that's kind of doing that. The legislature is doing it, not necessarily our governor. And some other states that are really pushing back to the federal government.
So I want to get back to the libertarian ideals real quick, because I want to, before we wrap, because I think it was interesting that Trump spoke, and I think it was interesting the way the media, like all my phone was like, Trump booed, all these different things. And it's like, it's funny. I watched it. He was cheered quite a bit for a party that he's not even a part of. He didn't start out great, according to Casey, but quick, because he was essentially saying, but he's not wrong. He just didn't earn he didn't earn the ability to say it. Yeah, he should have said it at the end and been like, look, if we want to galvanize and we want to change the country, you're going to have to find, I've just posed all of these, he went through and says, here's all my libertarian beliefs. He posed them all to the people. And then at the end, he could have been like, look, I'm with you. I'm for you, but we need to win this. And again, I think that would have been confusing though at the convention. All of it was confusing for him to be there and Vivek to be there and all that stuff. But I think it was a good move. The media, of course, covers it as something different. So I think it's interesting, going back to Tim saying something earlier and us talking about it. So the libertarians now are trying to say that companies should not be allowed to, they're saying companies should be allowed to mandate forced vaccinations. I think that's interesting, the way that you caught me, because it's technically going against the government to be able to do that, and it's private corporations. So that's tricky. How do we, because like I've said, I believe in small government, but at the same time, sometimes the people are too stupid to govern themselves. So I'd like the government to protect certain. That's why we have laws. So it's a confusing gray, and it's a confusing gray area. So the same goes. I get now the libertarian concept of, look, if a private company, problem is they're being misinformed by the CDC, the WHO. How do you
government?
What's that?
That is government.
And the government that's feeding them wrong information.
Right. So they're all the thing is they're getting their information from the wrong place. But how do we get to say our information is better than? I think it's a tricky subject if libertarians are trying to say, hey, government's got to have their hands off private corporations, but but that means that the government is also influencing them. So it's very difficult to have this.
Let me also pose this for you. He also says that humans should have bodily autonomy to be able to have abortions. So if we should have bodily autonomy, doesn't that mean that I shouldn't be forced to take the jab?
Which is why my body, my choice has always been a confusing one for me as somebody that's anti-vaccine and also understands a semblance of the pro-choice argument. I think that it's confusing. So I think that's
only if it's something evil. You got to understand that. But it's only your body, your choice if it's something evil.
But how do you know
it's
who gets
evil for you to not let women murder babies? What's wrong with you?
But from a real perspective, how do we get to decide what's evil and what's not?
You don't. Obviously,
well, we don't. The government will tell us what's evil and what's not.
That's even more of a problem. And like I get where we're playing into. I just think there's a lot of circular thought when it comes to this. And that's why there has to be, and you and I have had this discussion in the past, specifically Casey, where I'm like, the government does sometimes have to lay its foot down, and you're like, no, but in the case of mandates, we want a federal government that says you are not allowed to mandate your employees to get a vaccination.
I agree. The government definitely needs to put its foot down sometimes. If not, then we wouldn't have had an end of slavery.
No, the federal government has no play of what goes on in the states. If a state
answer Cash's question,
that's different.
Answer Cash's question. What about like what you just said, Cash?
What was the question again?
What about?
They definitely need to have a say so because slavery. If we didn't if the government didn't step up, then there would still be states having slaves and lynchings and all these things.
That is different. That is a federal guideline. And let me explain why.
Federal is from the government.
I'm saying the federal government should not be coming in and telling a state what they have to do. The state has those rights, and
unless
the state
is violating.
And if the state is violating a constitutional right, then they are no longer part of the union. There is an issue there.
Right, but what about when the government says we're adding this to the Constitution, like the end of slavery, and then the other states that disagree that lost in the vote?
There needs to be the vote process there, and that's fine. That there's a process for that.
Yeah, but
the government doesn't just get to decide it.
A majority does.
A majority of what?
Of the states. So
representatives of a state, correct?
Yeah, that's the state.
Okay.
There's so many representatives that each state has.
That is the proper process. I'm okay with that. But when a government is telling somebody, let's use NBC News, hey, you can stay open during COVID as long as you force vaccinate all of your employees. You can't compare slavery to a business getting told something by a government.
Wait a minute.
It's not the same.
I'm out.
But hold on.
Wait, let me get this out. First off, if the state shuts anything down inside the state, that's not only national parks can be shut down by the government. That's number one. Number two, the government of that state is the one that shuts things down in that state when it comes to businesses like the COVID restrictions and the lockdowns. Your governor, and then on top of it, below your governor, your mayor. The mayor of your city is responsible because there are some mayors that said, no, not closing down my city. My city's going to stay open, and they have that right. Even if the governor says to shut it down, the mayor reserves the right to say yes or no.
Well, and you get into counties and all of those things. Correct. You're not wrong. The part that I'm setting the ground rule is the federal government coming in and mandating something to be done within the state. And you did say the national park part, and that is true. That is one of the biggest things that I have with it. What?
But the thing is, that's where the federal needs to come into play, because technically a vaccine mandate is unconstitutional based on our actual where would it be? Where would it be in the Constitution? It's the civil liberties part of the Constitution where we should not be forced to take any kind of medical procedure. So therefore, it can't be the states, because if you've got an ultra left state or an ultra left, you need the federal government to
misunderstanding again. No. That they can only mandate it for federal workers. If you work, like for instance, DC DOC, they are funded by the government. So every employee inside of there had to take the shot, whereas Indiana State Prison did not. The COs did not have to take the shot. because there was no mandate.
But
Because
you're talking
they're
about
not a
federal jobs. We're talking about private jobs. And if private jobs are going against the concept, forcing their people to do something.
They're not forcing them. They're giving them an option. They're saying, look, either we at this company, we require you to have a shaved beard. At this company, we require you to wear this uniform. At this company, we require you to be fully vaccinated with all of these vaccines. Are you willing to sign a medical thing for your HIPAA so we can know if you're vaccinated or not? No? Okay. Interview done.
So you're comparing something that's invasive and experimental with shaving your face.
I'm just saying there's rules, is what I'm saying. There's rules when you work at companies. So when I worked at BP Amico, I had to have a clean shave face and a light mustache.
I know that,
but none of them enforce their will on you for your medical situation.
They're not. This is what I'm trying to say. You're calling it forcing instead of saying no, it's not. It's saying, look, you can work here if you do this. You don't have to. We're not going to.
If I'm employed, so Cash, if I'm employed there for 19 years and I can retire at 20, and I don't take it, and I get fired and I lose my pension, who's at fault?
I mean, that's definitely going to be the company's fault, but
okay,
but they should not. This is my whole thing because I'm all about freedom, right? If that company wants to set rules for its shit, this is America.
So, Cash,
well, then I think they got to.
You are saying that there is never corruption between corporations and government.
I'm not saying that at all. You're saying that. I'm not saying
because that's where the problem is. That's why you can't.
So the middle ground libertarian response, and I still don't think it's right. I don't agree with it. I think it's bullshit. But the middle ground response then would be, if you've already worked for the company, you're grandfathered in. I don't think that they can fire somebody. I don't think they could displace, fire.
I don't think so either. I think that would actually be illegal.
No, it's not.
They did though. They did. So then the other option is, I mean, they did that
in states that are not right to work, like Utah. They can fire you for no reason, literally zero reason. You can be fired today.
Oh, well then, yeah, bro, run it. If that's the case, that's free. That's America, plain and simple. I mean, we can't.
But to me, that's the role. That's the role of the federal government, is to make sure shit like that doesn't happen. Otherwise, guess what? Going back to your original belief, like, hey, it's right to work state. If this black dude wants to work for me for $1.99 a day,
that is rare though. The thing she's pointing out, what she's bringing up the hospital. Don't bring up the medical industry. We already know it's corrupt because they pushed it. Talk about private industry.
It doesn't matter.
A gas station on the corner. Why does that matter?
Because it's theirs. If they want to make you have to wear a pink tutu to work and you say, I don't wear pink tutus, then you have the right to not work there. But if I want to open up a company and I want to say, look, I want everybody in here to have the hepatitis A vaccine, because if you don't, you ain't working here because I had a scare with the hepatitis before.
Libertarians are looking for new people, so you are more than welcome to join.
Nah, good.
Because it's now their thing, so you can join them.
I'm straight,
support MAGA over there. Because here's where we're having a problem. I 100% agree with you, but we are in a society that we are losing our morals. We are losing our respect for everybody.
We need a parent.
So you are saying that we are just going to, no, I don't care, because I don't trust any major corporation to do what's right by their employees and not be influenced by the government and push something that the government is going to benefit from.
Bro, let me tell you something real quick. All right. This is part of where capitalism goes wrong. What we're talking about right now.
That's why I just mentioned morals.
This is where capitalism goes wrong, because if a dude wants to make a buck and then he got somebody that's corrupt and he's like, look, check it out. We got this new vaccine, right? Yo, we getting paid off of this vaccine right now, dog. You went in on this. Is all you got to do is tell them to take the jab. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, yo, I'm a capitalist. I'm all about getting this money.
Yeah.
Bet. I got you. Let's do it. You can't be mad at the man for capitalizing on a situation. This is America.
See, this is the thing. Right now, we are a country that needs a parent, a
Jesus.
father, we need Jesus. And it's like, here's the thing. We need to actually have governmental control because leaving the hens to the hens house, the leftists that have no brain, the Tims of the world that literally are absolutely below the moron line of IQ, allowing them to go around the world, around the country and just do what they want and think that corporations and companies, we need a daddy. We need a daddy. And I know that you feel Trump might be that said daddy, but there has to be somebody. There has to be a leader. That leader has to have some rules over the people. And that's why we vote over what rule or what leader we want to enforce said rules.
That's a very good comment from Tim What a Day. I got to give him a round of applause.
He's not wrong.
That was a good comment right there.
Capitalism requires regulation.
Just so everybody knows,
he's right.
Capitalism does not require regulation. Capitalism
100% it does.
The founding of our country, where capitalism came from, and the idea didn't start with regulation.
Bruh.
The foundation of capitalism in the entire world did not start with the regulation.
Okay, well, I'm just
where did it come from? Because I can tell you right now, our founding fathers did not have 1% of the regulation we have today applied in our country.
Well, absolutely.
And they also had slaves.
Well, and you're not wrong, but we also had how many people were around in 1776 United States of America? It's a different world. We've got different technologies. We've got different, I mean, you've got roads. You have to have certain regulation. You've got cars, roads, internet.
We have to stop asking for a lot of the regulation.
No, I agree. But but the thing is, we've been
2.5 million people in America.
How many?
2.5 million.
So we are almost 100. How much?
Oh, we're
way over that, bro.
Way over that because we're like
about 330 million above that.
I just said 150 times.
No, that's more than 150.
It's actually 107. It's 165 times is where we would be. 165 times bigger. Regardless, we're so afraid because of our belief system that the government is bad, and we agree. We're so afraid of regulation. We've now made it to a point where it's like, let's deregulate. It's got to be okay to deregulate. No, the thing is, we still have to have some kind of leadership and semblance of order because we as people don't have the capability because of our flaws, because of there needs to be something in order. Again, I think we've gone about it the wrong way the last several decades, and I think both left and right are shit. But that's why it's important to create why it's such an important presidential election. We always talk about local elections are important. That's why it's so important to have a good leader in the White House right now, specifically.
It's fine. All we need to do
is open Don's the border. Comment. That was perfect.
That was beautiful.
What? Well, of course not, because look at our society.
No, they actually did. They actually did. This is why you weren't allowed to. Yes, they did. You were not allowed to vote unless you own property, and there's a couple other stipulations.
That's racist, is what that is. That's not.
But
if you were a poor white man, you were not allowed to vote.
I know, but they did that because so slaves couldn't vote.
No, they did that because they didn't want stupid people.
The founding of it was because they didn't want slaves.
The whole purpose was to make sure they couldn't vote. Now, again, there's a difference between free markets and the free.
It's gone now.
This is an important.
I want it back, by the way.
That's why they're a white guy. You wasn't voting back then either. That's all I'm saying.
Me and Tim are getting along all of a sudden. Tim's not wrong about this comment. There's corporations and capitalists that will literally do whatever they can to save a dollar. They will make sure. So I think it's like
so we have to trust corporations to not do bad deals with the government.
I think you're too anti-government, Casey.
Right now, what government is serving the American people?
Federal Reserves.
What? Right. We might as well turn that into a homeless shelter because
the last thing I want people to know is the fact that Trump did not get heavily booed during his speech. It was still a very popular speech. And the 15 minutes that I got to watch, that was some of his best speaking because he was playing to a libertarian crowd. And if that's his true beliefs, and I think he's got to stick to that because it's all recorded. This is something that they'll play against him if it ever comes up. And I think that his speech there was one of the best speeches he could give because it was a touch of MAGA and it was a touch of libertarian. There was a lot of strengths behind it. So
I really enjoy that comment from Kevin. Says, like everything else, the system is not the problem. The people that abuse the system are the problem. 100% correct.
Problem is, there's a lot of abusers in this world, and it's not just the government.
Majority of them it is.
Yeah. So let's see. Do we want to touch real quick? Let's see. Terrance Howard. Nah. Cash did a full show on that on Pilled. You can watch
I'll
that.
do another one right after this.
Doing another half after this.
All right. I think that's it. Trump's trial is over. We don't really know a ton yet. We'll know more. I mean, we do know that it's complete and utter bullshit and garbage.
Well, we do know that mainstream media is talking about how Cohen lied at the stand, but it's probably going to be ignored.
Yeah. It's pretty weird. Pretty weird that the main person, their main witness. Do you have a clip? It's all live on our. We had a whole video of him being cheered. Casey was watching. We were actually live streaming it, and there was a lot of cheers. There was even points where signs were being held up and blocking the camera, like in support.
What was on those signs?
I don't know actually, but they were cheering.
Free Ross.
Oh. Because he was talking, well, yeah, in those moments he was talking about the freeing Ross. He was talking about freeing, when he said freeing the Jan Sixers, or when he said he would appeal their case, all that, the crowd went nuts.
Yep.
Now his intro and a little bit of his outro, at the outro, from what I've seen now, because I didn't see the intro, the boos were a lot less than it was at the intro, because I think he won the crowd by the end.
The big thing is,
who really cares about getting booed at a libertarian convention, though?
Well, there's a lot of good things by libertarians coming in and helping Trump from making some positions, because Trump admitted when he met with Tim Pool 15 minutes before he went on stage, he actually had an interview with Tim Pool, and he said, I can't trust the people that are currently in government. Because Tim Pool asked him, like, you put some people in place when you were in president before, and they didn't really do a good job, and you kind of fired them and all of these things. And he's like, yes, I found there were people that I couldn't trust or work with. Yeah. And so he's trying to figure out who he can now. And that's probably a big influence why he showed up.
No, I agree. I hope that everything goes well. I'm not saying that, there's not great people in the Libertarian Party. All I'm saying is I don't think that people that are regular people in the world watching this should care about him getting booed at a libertarian convention.
I think it's important to just make sure we're countering misinformation, because again, voting is contagious, and it's speaking points where people, like, just the same as the beginning of this conversation where Tim was bringing up non-factual information that is still talked about today. There's people that'll have that and they'll be like, he's even booed. He's not a middle grounder. He's booed at the libertarian. He was booed. He didn't get he can't get anybody to agree with him. Countering that narrative is very important to make sure. It's like that whole thing of, trust me, he's popular. You've got the left that's right now paying influencers. Fuck, that's what we were going to talk about. We didn't talk about, we got 3 minutes. Let's talk about it. De Niro is supposed to be the main part of the topic.
Oh, we can do this. Let's go.
Talk about, can we play the clip real quick? Sorry, we're extending the show just a hair longer. 5 more minutes.
Yeah, well, it's worth it, because everybody should hear what dipshit had to say.
Yeah.
And by the way, did you see him wearing a mask?
No.
Ooh, Robert DePlanto?
He got out of the car, walked up to the podium wearing a mask. Here, this is
while we're getting this video up. Make sure you guys. So we actually haven't talked about the Freedom Box at all. Cash, go ahead and talk about the Freedom Box real quick.
If you guys are interested in shopping American, if you're like, you know what, I love this country and I want to support it by employing Americans and also making my house safer for me and my kids, because you value your health, then you need to tap in with me and Russo and Casey, Russo, and myself, for everybody who is grammar Nazis out there. Tap in with us and get this Freedom Box. All right. Not only are you supporting America, not only are you supporting a conservative business, not only are you employing Americans, not only are you taking better care of your health, but you can also earn an extra income. So if you're interested in any of those things at all, please hit us up at Freedom. Is it, we still doing the website?
I think so. Yeah.
freedomboxinfo.com.
Yeah, and there's going to be a shift.
Yeah,
we're going to be doing a shift to the app and all that stuff. But regardless, go there, get your information in there. People talk about how they can make a difference. Like this one, to me, how we don't have all of our 48,000, not that everybody sees it, but how we don't have 1,000 of our people doing this. This is nothing extra out of your pocket. It saves you money on the shit you already buy, and it's fully all American. If you want to actually vote with your dollar, this is how to do it. At this point, if you haven't made the commitment to what, again, there's a certain dollar a month that you spend. It's insane to me that it's not, people's mentality is not shifting it if you haven't already. This is the same stuff you would already buy. So it's literally just shifting your dollars and you're saving money. Go to freedomboxinfo.com. We're not going to be able to do the call tonight, but we will make sure that you learn a little bit more from that. We'll make sure to connect with you and get you shopping American with the Freedom Box. All right.
By the way, before we keep going, I'm looking for people to join with me personally and building this thing. So if you're somebody who does like me and you like to talk to people and you have the opportunity to talk to people and you're a social butterfly, or you got a decent following on Facebook or Instagram or Pilled or YouTube or wherever you do your thing at, TikTok, let me know. Hit me up, because I take this thing very, very, very serious. And I just got my check in the mail. If I showed it to you right now, you would not believe me. You'd be like, whoa. So I'm looking for other people because I want to help build your finances as well as your health. So let's do this.
It was a full monthly income this last month, and he's only on his third month. That's the truth. Yeah. Fourth month? Third month? Third or fourth?
Third month.
Third
Going
month.
into my fourth month.
All right, let's play this clip of douchebag De Niro.
So, yeah. Oh, there we go. So this is him walking up. I don't know if this is his speech, but I wanted to share that. Oh, look at the idiot wearing a mask.
Look at Officer Ryan Dunn and Crybaby Fanone.
Yeah, I didn't mention him in the post because I was like, wait a minute, why do I know that guy? Oh yeah, that's dipshit.
Look, I'm trying to be better, but fuck those guys.
Yeah,
they're horrible. The big black dude is an actual psychopath. The other guy is just a paid actor.
Let me get the speech. Here it is. No mask on the speech. Like I guess COVID only affects you when you're walking. So just know.
Look at him fucking. So low.
Remember this one being that low right here.
No, you got to turn it up. Yours was turned down.
Oh, thank you. Good call out.
No problem.
Hang on, I'm sharing screen again. And then I'll roll it back. These guys are true heroes.
They are the true heroes. These guys are the true heroes. They stood and put their lives on the line for these low lives.
I love the car alarm in the background.
They lied under oath. They lied under oath. Who lied under oath?
Cohen. Stormy Daniels.
No, the cops. He's talking about the cops.
Talking about the cops.
Oh.
They lied on their oath.
Well, I know dipshit behind him did. That one.
I don't know. I don't even know how to deal with you, my friend. I don't even know how to deal with you.
Back to my script.
They stood there. They didn't have to. And there were other ones in there who probably were in with them a little bit too. And
Can you pause it? Pause it real quick. Okay. If somebody was talking, if you're a tough guy like these guys think they are, if somebody was talking poorly about you directly and saying these guys lied under oath, wouldn't you look at them in the eye and, like, if you were that guy, wouldn't you turn and look at the person talking and be like, are you fucking with me right now?
Why are you accusing me of this?
Instead, their body language just pointed down and just kind of.
You know why?
Because they're
Nancy
fucking lying.
told them. Nancy told them,
listen, I want you guys to go out there, but you're not going to say a thing. I don't give a fuck what they say. Hold on, let me take a drink of my wine. You guys don't say nothing.
That's why. Optics.
Well, and so it's all about optics. You're right. And this was outside of the Trump trial. And this is the interesting thing that Casey let me know before the show started. So people are like, oh, he's bought and paid for. Cash made a video, bought and paid for. How do we know that they're bought and paid for? Why do we believe this?
Because the Biden administration announced that there is going to be a press conference outside of Trump's trial today.
They literally set this up. We know that he's a far leftist, absolute effing moron, that he's gone that far. De Niro has. But when you have them coordinating, maybe he's not paid, allegedly paid, whatever, but coordinating with the White House to set up a press conference to continue to spread lies and then tee up the insurrection cops This is a fucking show. An
Yo,
absolute
it's
show.
no
Before we
different.
get off, can you guys do me a favor, please, and play the reel? Because mine captured everything, dog. It captured the whole shebang. And you could see it. Like each time this dude just looking down at the script and saying what's on the paper, and there's no emotion. He even messes up. He messes up the emphasis on things that's supposed to be emphasized, losing all shock factor. And it's just a horrible, horrible play that they try to pull, man. It's ridiculous. It is. It's I'm surprised, to be honest with you. I'm surprised that they chose that guy to come out and speak with them two fucking rejects of officers.
All right,
He was
I'm ready.
the only one to do it.
I got it. Hold on a sec.
You got it?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, the problem that we have at this point, well, the left has at this point, is how many people want to put themselves out there? Like, not very many left.
No, wait. Maybe I do mean to scare you.
At this point, it's obvious. My man Robert De Niro has been bought and paid for. Why was he even there in the first place? And then on top of it, he's got the heroes, those super cops that was at January 6th's Capitol incident, you know, insurrection. It didn't even seem believable. Listen.
This is not a threat. This is a reality. I love this city. I don't want to destroy it. Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the
Pretty sure he said, "I love this shitty."
and eventually he could destroy the world.
My man said Trump is going to destroy the world, bro. Too much power. I mean, they really think that he is just like the biggest threat.
We New Yorkers used to tolerate him when he was just another grubby real estate hustler masquerading as a big shot.
Y'all didn't just tolerate him. You loved him. Stop it.
A two-bit playboy lying his way into the tabloids. A clown. But this city is pretty accommodating. We make room for clowns.
Make a lot of room for clowns. Look at AOC and all the other representatives that you guys have over there.
Aw.
Mayor. Look at you.
You talked about your
But
girl.
A person like Trump who will eventually run the country. That does not work, and we all know that. He got the most religious evangelicals to applaud a sinner who bragged about sexual assault, and who, just a couple of blocks from here, a jury found him liable for sexual abuse.
Did you really just call him a sinner? Jesus loves the sinners.
And on January 6th,
Oh, January 6th. Here he goes.
rallied an angry mob to threaten democracy, leaving death and destruction in its wake.
Okay, I'm a January 6er, and Trump did not rally me to do anything. Just saying.
That's the tyrant he's telling us he'll be.
Y'all notice how he just keeps flipping through these pages and looking down?
And believe me, he means it. When Trump ran in 2016, it was like a joke. This buffoon running for president. No, never could happen. We'd forgotten the lessons of history that showed us other clowns who weren't taken seriously until they became vicious dictators. With Trump, we have a second chance. And no one is laughing now. This is the time to stop him by voting him out once and for all. We don't want to wake up after the election saying, "What, again?" I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you.
Fake! Did you guys notice that? Did you see the fakeness behind that? He looked down. He said, I don't mean to scare you. No, I do. Come on, bro. It says emphasize on that paper.
If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave. He will never leave. You know that. He will never leave.
He's
I
the
wish he
biggest
would
threat
leave.
to our democracy. He will never leave. I mean, I can do a Trump administration for the rest of my life. I mean, that's pretty good.
This is not a threat. This is a reality. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president.
No, you joined the Biden-Harris campaign because they paid you. Tell the truth and shame the devil. But you know what was one of the funniest parts of his whole being out there? Watch this.
You are gangsters. You are gangsters. Fuck you.
That man sat there and said, "You are gangsters." Isn't most of your movies gangster flicks? So I guess you're kind of a victim of your own success, because if he's a gangster and he watched your films, you influenced it. I mean, come on, guys. At this point, this is just pure comedy. It's pure comedy. The left is panicking right now. They are panicking. Nothing can stop what's coming. Another Trump presidency. Trump 2024.
There's nothing better than. Oops. There's nothing better than watching Cash watch his own videos. He gets so into them. He's like, yeah. It's like a little kid with pride.
No, bro, that one actually, I'm proud of that video because I feel like I captured the bullshit.
You did.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I captured the bullshit just all the way. The clips was just perfectly set to show that this man is a bullshit ass human being reading off a script that they gave him. He didn't write them on. When you write your own lines, you know what's going to be said next. You don't mess up as many times as he did. Know. You know what I'm saying? And
and he's an actor. He should be
standing in the back, was just looking there. Just said, I was about to circle. You know, when I was doing the video, I was going to put a circle around Fanone's face when he said, "This city welcomes clowns," and put a fucking big circle around that big lying, perjuring piece of shit that he had standing behind him. I can't stand neither one of them dudes, and I know I'm trying to be better, but fuck them dudes, bro. Straight up.
I started
fuck
a trend.
Them dudes with a stiff one.
I started a trend.
I mean
that. I agree. I think it's hilarious that's what they're doing. And if you're dumb enough to fall for it, then I guess that's the reason why we need some federal regulations on things, because people are stupid. Tim. All right, that's all I got for the show. Final words, Cash, take us home, because I gotta run to the feed store and get some shit for the horses. So
pray for Joe Biden, but still fuck him. You know, pray for the country, pray for the administration to do better, but fuck them straight up. Don't trust the government, like Casey says, and fuck them too. And God, please do something. Come back soon, because I'm sick of this shit. I am. I'm sick of this shit. That clip really fires me up, bro. Because you could see the BS. And then to know that the White House paid for it, that shit pisses me off. It's like you're wasting money. They're using the taxpayers' dollars to send Robert De Niro with 2 fucked up police officers to go out there and lie to people and try to sway the emotions of people. And then also to try to agitate that they knew there was going to be Trump supporters out there, to try to agitate them to look ridiculous, which they got a couple of them to look ridiculous, talking crazy shit. But it blows my mind. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of them. That's all I got. God bless you guys. I hope you have a good night.
And yeah, Cash, are you guys going to join me tomorrow for the speaking class or no? Are you available?
6 o'clock. Yeah, I'm going to make myself available. I'll be there.
You need some help speaking. We know this. So
I'm pretty good off the cuff, bro.
What's that?
I'm pretty good off the cuff.
You're not bad off the cuff. Well, you could be better. Anyways, if you guys want to get better at speaking, want to learn how to use your voice, go to doubledownspeaking.com. Tomorrow night, I teach a class that helps people get better at speaking. I was about to make a joke about Tim, but Tim, I'm going to make sure you're not invited. Sorry. God bless, guys. Have a great night. Cash, what is that right there?
It's going viral around Twitter right now.
What is it?
How much they paid per vaccinated member.
Can't see it.
Wow.
They paid up to $125 bonus per vaccinated member at Anthem Medicaid.
How about that?
They also incentivized it in DC DOC for the inmates. If you took the COVID jab, then you got extra commissary for free.
Well, yeah, you also got bonus donuts in New York. All right, Cash, do that thing that drives all the ladies crazy.
My shirt off?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, the other thing, the phrase. Gotcha. Unite. Don't fight. Be a street light. It's only you can be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart. That's a fact. Woo! Yeah, brother.
Bye, bitches.
That went well.
I think it went pretty good.
I feel like Casey kind of lost it a little bit there with his whole anti-government, but he kind of pulled it back in.
Government.
I kind of want to have dinner with Tim. I think Tim,
you know what? I want to have dinner with Tim too. What a guy, What a guy.
I want to have Tim's babies.
I like Tim, to be honest. I like when he gets you riled up like that. It works for me. Is he watching on mine or yours?
I don't know.
I think he's one of mine. I think so. If he's not, I would like him to be, because he was interesting.
You want him to be your power bottom?
Yes.
Russo, why, bro? I don't march in that parade, everybody. I don't march
Whatever.
in that
No,
parade.
you just
You
lay
just
down in it.
switched to the Libertarian Party. So yeah.
You know what,
Just lay
Russo? I
down in
think
that
you got the
parade.
hop for guys, bro. That's what I think it is. That's what I think it is. You big hair
stop.
bear.
You stop.
He's so silly.